Hey guys, Steve here, singledadfitdad.com. Thanks for watching this video. It's actually been a little while since I've done a video like this. So today I want to talk about how to stay off junk food, okay? You know, if you follow me on Facebook at all, you notice that there's a trend. I ask a lot of questions about diet. And something that always comes up is people struggling with not being able to control the junk food, and especially junk food late at night. Okay, and I wanted to talk about this because this is actually a huge problem for me as well. I mean, I have a huge sweet tooth. I love anything sugary, pastries, donuts, but at night I love crunchy pretzels, cheese and crackers, chips and salsa is really a weakness of mine. It's really, really difficult for me to avoid those things because, you know, I'm pretty fit and I think I can get away with it. And I'll tell you, and I'll just be honest with you, the last month, and I just came off vacation yesterday, but you know, the last probably 4 weeks, I've really let my diet slide. And you know, I saw some pictures from the beach, and I definitely noticed a difference in my physique, and I've definitely put on a few pounds of fat. And that's not the end of the world, but it's not what I want, and I feel like shit. And so, you know, I thought about it, and I thought about some of the ways that I control my urges, and I came up with 9 things that I do in my life that help me get away from that stuff and focus on better eating. So the first thing is get it out of the house, right? So if it's not in your cupboard, it's not in your refrigerator, you can't eat it, right? I mean, believe me, I've been tempted a few times to actually drive to the store and buy some garbage at 10 o'clock at night because I really, really wanted it. Even though I had a refrigerator full of great, you know, vegetables and fruits and things, I really wanted some junk food. But, you know, I'm sitting there in my underwear, and I'm not going to put on clothes and drive all the way to the store just to buy a bag of chips. So if it's not in the house, you know, you can't eat it. But, you know, if you have kids like I do, chances are you're keeping some of that stuff. So it's really a fine line. So for you, you know, maybe start teaching your kids how to enjoy healthier snacks versus constantly running. Like my kids, unfortunately, love Pringles and Doritos and those types of things. So when those are in the house, yes, I sometimes, more often, recently, will eat them. Train hard. You know, I train really hard. I know a lot of you guys do too. But when you're really focused on training, really training hard, you're less likely to snack on junk food because you know that it's going to sabotage your efforts. And so that's the last thing we want to do is sabotage our efforts. Again, this may be a little difficult for some people. It is for me. Again, I rationalize it in my head. Oh, you know, I train really hard 5 days a week, so I can get away with eating this, but you know, I really can't, and it's just not healthy either. Setting a goal, you know, setting goals, I don't know. To be honest, you know, a lot of times it just sucks. They don't work. They're long term. You can't visualize it. It's way out there. Set it for one short week. Say, okay, this week, no whatever your weakness is, whether it's ice cream or pretzels. I'm not going to have just any for Monday through Friday, 5 days. That's it, and see how you feel. You know, maybe that turns into 7 days. Maybe it turns into 10, 14, whatever. But start very small. Drinking a ton of water helps too. I've gotten away from this as well. It's a really bad habit of mine. I preach, water. I've been slipping up. I have not been drinking nearly enough. You know, I suggest half a gallon to a gallon, especially for bigger guys, 200 pounds plus, gallon of water a day. It's really going to curb those cravings, fill your stomach up, and obviously there's a whole host of other benefits you can find in some of my other videos. Chewing gum has really been a lifesaver for me. I chew sugarless gum. I think Orbit is the brand I usually chew, but I chew it like crazy. I have it with me all the time. And just pop it in your mouth. It's sugarless. You know, maybe it's not the best thing in the world, but it will satisfy the cravings in a pinch and get you chewing and maybe get your mind off of wanting to go to the cupboard and get those cookies or whatever. Finding alternatives. Just find something that is less bad, okay? So you don't have to eat lean proteins and great complex carbs and fruit and vegetables 24/7, okay? You can eat some other crap. Just make it better crap, okay? Like, like a beef jerky. Or for me, I go to Balance bars. Like I buy a shitload of Balance bars, even though they're technically, you know, whatever, health bars, but they're not really. If you look at the sugar, it's got a ton of sugar, but less so than a lot of other things that I'm eating. So, you know, I'll go and buy a bunch of those, usually for $1 a piece, you know, chocolate caramel, whatever the flavors are, and they'll satisfy that sweet tooth. And at the same time, you know, there's a little more proteins. It's better than a straight candy bar. Watching for habits, and that's what I mean by that is, you know, if you're work a desk job, for example, and at 1 o'clock every day, you're bored out of your mind like I was for so long, you get up, you take a walk, and I had a habit personally. I'd get up about 2 o'clock from my desk, walk down the street like 3 blocks to the convenience store, and buy either a Red Bull or a Dr. Pepper and some form of shitty candy bar or sweet, a muffin. Usually it was a Snickers bar and a Red Bull, right? So really good for me. But that's what I did. That was my habit, though. So my brain came to recognize, okay, it's 2 o'clock, you need sugar. I mean, I worked in a desk job for 11 years, so over the years, especially during the bad times when my marriage was going really poorly and I just didn't care about my health, I was doing that. I was drinking 2, 3, 4 sodas a day, plus Red Bull, plus Snickers, plus all that. So it became a really bad habit. So be mindful of that, and if it is, recognize it, and maybe you can step away from it. I always have fruit on hand. Another important one, I always keep fruit in the fridge. I have right now blueberries, raspberries, apples, and pears, I think. So have something sweet, especially berries are super sweet and they're really, really good for you. So just pop a few in, maybe it satisfies that craving. And then last one, you know, have a reason why you're doing this. Just avoiding junk food just to avoid it isn't enough. I mean, that instinct to eat junk food and crave, you know, our bodies are craving all this sugar and salt and junk because we're so used to eating it, and it craves it. So having an emotional reason why you're not going to eat it is really important. You know, whatever it is for you, whether it's health related or energy related or longevity, or, you know, there's a million reasons what it could be, but try to think about why you really need to stay off of it and let that be your motivator. So anyway, that's it. Hope this helps. And any questions, Steve@singledadfitdad.com. Talk to you later.